Alright guys, here I am at one of the local parks, and I wanted to do a video today. I hope this is in focus and not looking too terrible. But in any event, today's video I wanted to do about the little voices that we sometimes hear and to warn us about, you know, not to do something or not to go someplace or be with somebody or etc. And how a lot of times when we get these communications, and that's what I like to call them, I think they're more like spiritual communications, because it seems that it's a communication directed at you or to you from outside of yourself, and not something of your own manufacture in your mind or in your head. The little voice, it's not your little voice in the head, in other words. I think it's from outside. And many times this has been proven to me to be the case, mainly because when I think about those thoughts that popped in my head, warning me about this or that, I say to myself, you know, it's like, I didn't think that. Or I sometimes think to myself, why would I think that? And the truth of the matter is that I didn't think of it. That came from outside. And many times I've noticed that those thoughts or phrases or words that popped into my head, or communications, that they in fact were actually a warning. And it was 99.99% of the time, it's always something to my benefit, to help me or protect me. I had one incident when I was a teenager about not going out that night, and I stood there staring in the mirror as I was shaving, getting ready to go, and I was thinking to myself, why the hell would I think that? Well, I couldn't think of a reason why I would think that, and I stupidly went out with my friends and I almost got killed. But then just the other day I was thinking, boy, you know, I wonder if I hadn't gone with my buddies and been in that terrible car accident with them, ended up in the hospital, because I woke the driver once, because I woke up just in time to see him falling asleep over the wheel. So I yelled at him, woke him up. Now could you imagine if I wasn't there, all three of my buddies might have ended up dead. And that would have been the end of that. And I would have woken up in bed, my own bed at home instead of the hospital, and saying to myself, boy, you know, see what would happen if I had went out with Terry and the guys? I could have gotten killed too. So there's that factor or angle of it to look at. That, you know, that sometimes, even though we do not pay attention to these warnings or communications, that sometimes perhaps if we did not, or if we did heed warnings that we get like that, communications that come to us like that, that somebody else might have really died. I had one back in the early 1990s about taking a shortcut to work. I looked at the clock and I said to myself, I got plenty of time. Why the hell would I think about that? Well, let me tell you, I get up over the hill, over the railroad tracks on the highway, and a drunk driver in a tall flatbed diesel truck decides that he's going to turn into his company driveway and not even pay attention that I'm in the oncoming lane. Well, again, if I hadn't been there, who knows? It could have been a woman and her small children in the car, and maybe he might have killed all of them. So, you know, who knows? But I think this is a very interesting subject, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this video can probably relate to having things like that happening to them throughout their life. Communications, and as some people say, well, it's your guardian angel. In Scientology, which I was in for 20 years, we'll say, oh, it's your higher self. It's your knowingness, your self-knowingness, because you're an awareness and an awareness unit or a spiritual being, and so you kind of just know these things. Well, maybe we do. But quite honestly, for all the times that it's happened in my life, I have to be completely honest and say that these most definitely seem to be communications from outside of me, directed at me. And one last one I'll mention is that when I worked at a department store in Clinton, New Jersey called Laneco Department Store, and maybe somebody watching this might know that place. Back in the 70s, I was a stock boy and grocery packer. And anyway, I one afternoon had the idea that, well, you know, rather than go to the break room, I'm going to go in the stock room and get some candy corn, because somebody had broken up a bag of candy corn in one of the back alleys in there where we had boxes and boxes of candy stacked. And I thought, well, I'll go get some candy corn. Well, let me tell you, good thing I did go back, because our shop steward, somebody had put him in the trash compactor. I go back there and I hear this poor fella screaming for help. If I hadn't gone back, if I hadn't listened to that little voice and gone back to the stock room and went to the break room instead, he would have been crushed and dead. So there we go. Leave your comments. I'd like to know what you guys think about this, and if you can relate any similar situations that you've had in your life with communications like this. And I think that's really what it is that there's something or somebody or some beings or some spiritual beings or spiritual entities out there that are looking out for us. Call them guardian angels. Call them, maybe it's somebody, a departed loved one from your distant family, like a grandpa or a great-grandpa. As some of the psychics say, they watch over us. Maybe that's it too. Who knows? But I find it very interesting, and quite frankly, I think that anytime we hear a communication like that or get a communication like that, that of course the best thing to do is listen, because I think all of us would be able to take less punishment and less getting banged up, like I found myself getting banged up in a couple car accidents, and if I had only listened. Well, there it is, guys. So long for now.